Today we're going to be talking about the types of launchers in the game. The very many types of launchers in this game, and you know how we love a combo. We love damage. Delicious. So I was looking at launchers and I thought, there's very many weird types of launchers, and what makes a move a launcher and what makes it not a launcher. So first of all, we've all heard of the term Class 1 launcher or Class A launcher, and I have no idea where that term came from, but it usually refers to launchers that launch super high. That's where I hear it being used most. Sorry, let me switch to player 1, my favorite. So these are usually termed Class 1 launchers. If anyone knows the origin of that, please let me know. But other than that, we're not going to use that type of class system. We're going to use a different class system. In the previous video, we talked about in the frame advantage, the frame outside shows the frame advantage and the frame inside shows the frames before an opponent can tech. Now some launchers disable the ability for the opponent to tech. For example, Julia cannot tech roll after that launcher. If I set her to side quick roll, she can't side quick roll, she has to stand up. Same for such launchers. She can't tech roll. What this means for you as a player who is launching is that as much as the launcher has 29 frames of advantage, there is a gray area of advantage. I'm not sure how long it takes for an opponent to stand up from the ground, but the launcher has more advantage than you'd think. For example, Julia can't do anything about that move. That move is guaranteed, and it is 37 frames. I only have 29 frames of advantage as written in the game, but for 37, that's an extra 8 frames where I'm still getting guaranteed stuff. So it's important for you to know which launchers limit your ability to tech roll. Standard launchers, down forward 2s, they allow you to tech roll. So you're launching, you're doing your combo. There's no two ways about it. With that being said, I'm going to talk about the 5 different levels of launchers that I have that I have grouped. And these levels are going to be grouped from lowest to highest, the ones with the least frame advantage to the most frame advantage. Now level 1 will be the frame advantage from 9 and below, between 0 and 9 and below. Now these typically aren't launchers, they're usually just knockdowns. For example, that is +6. Between 0 and 9 frames of advantage, nothing is guaranteed, because the fastest move is 10 frames. So nothing is guaranteed there. There's some weird situations where if she moves, I'll hit her with something, but that doesn't hit grounded, so if she stays still, she won't get hit. It's not guaranteed. Okay? And the fastest low in the game should be 12 frames. So again, if I had a 12 frame low, which Ganri doesn't have, should be able to stand up and block because I don't have 12 frames of advantage. So that's my level 1 of launcher. It's not even a launcher, it's a knockdown, and it's between 0 and 9 frames. Most punishers, for example that's too much. It's all a lot. Most simple punishers that just knock your opponent down quite... Okay, let's just stick to this. Most punishers usually have this. They don't guarantee other things later, no matter where you are in the stage. Because even if I was at the wall, that's not guaranteed. She can spring kick out of it. She has options to beat that at those frames. So that's level 1 for you. They're just standard knockdowns. Level 2 is launches that give you advantage between 10 and 20 frames. Okay? Now, here's where guaranteed stuff comes into play. For example, Ganryu's counter hit forward 2. If you look at it, it doesn't look like a launcher. However, and even in the open, it's I have plus 19 frames before she can tech roll. Ignore the first part, we talked about this in the first video. Those 50 frames don't mean I have 50 frames to hit her with whatever. I only have 19 frames for the juggle to continue, otherwise she tech rolls. Now because of the distance, I can't do anything about that in the open. But when it comes to the wall, Now I can start getting some guaranteed stuff. You see, that's a combo. So technically it's a launcher. Not your standard launcher how you'd think about it, but technically it's a launcher. Or I will class it as a launcher, as a level 2 launcher. Between 10 and 20 frames of advantage. Again, this other punish we talked about, she also has 19 frames before she can tech roll. If this was near the wall, I would be able to convert, but it's not. But again, once we come here, let's say we get some distance so she doesn't hit the wall. You see, that's a combo. Because technically she's been launched. Not the way we're used to calling launchers, but she has been launched. Because we're getting combos. So that's my level 2. It gives you a bit more frame advantage, but really not much. Not much that you can do too much with, but still technically launchers. Level 2 launcher. But level 1 and level 2, they usually aren't. There's this other weird... You see the last hit of that? If you're a Julia player... I'm so glad actually I have Julia here. Julia has many launches that look like this. They knock you down in that sense. Now in the open, I do get some guaranteed stuff, which is what we talked about. Level 2 gives us guaranteed things like that. But now when it comes to the wall, how do I get Gary to follow me? Okay, come here. Now when we're here, I was afraid that would happen. Performance anxiety. Then I do a quick 4-4-3. You see, like, he was airborne. I didn't hit him grounded, because a typical grounded hit would look like... It looks like that. But this other one was different. He flipped onto the wall. And then I got more combo. So it is also technically a launcher. Not the way we're used to calling them. So I call that a level 2 launcher. Actually, let me see how many frames that one gives. 18 frames. Between 10 and 20. Only 18 frames. So very specific things can be used, and only in very specific situations. Most of the time. Okay? So I'll class that as a level 2 launcher. Now we come to actual launchers. And that's from 20 frames and 30 frames. Level 3. That's now when we start doing standard launchers. That only gives me 20 frames before she can tech roll. Now level 3 is, besides level 1 and 2, which are barely launchers, level 3 is like the weakest kind of launcher. It doesn't matter the state you launch them in. That's level 4, my bad. It doesn't matter what the state of the launch looks like. See, this one she falls straight to the ground, this one she goes up. We're not focusing on the kind of launch, we're focusing about the frames for now. The kind of launch will be the next video for tomorrow. Level 3 is usually the weakest kind of launcher. It still launches, I mean it still does what you need it to do, but you usually have the least flexibility for these launchers. They give you the minimal allowance to be able to reposition yourself. For example, if I want to crouch cancel into something, that's the most I can do with a level 3 launcher. I can crouch cancel, I can micro dash. You see, that was really hard. They only allow crouch cancelling, micro dashing, and instant while standing. That's the only extent of repositioning you get, and you don't want that. You want that if you land an awkward launcher, you have some time to move around. Okay? So level 3s have the least flexibility. Let me show you this with Nina. But while we have Julia here, she has a lot of level 3 launches. For example, her new move, forward forward 4, it's very hard to convert. Counter hit while standing 3, same thing, very hard to convert because you're only allowed a micro dash and then the combo drops. So because of the positioning, I'll just go for the guaranteed stuff. It's even hard to get that to combo because it's such little frames, such a weak launcher. But of course that changes at the wall, because now there will be less pushback involved. Now that he's right there, I don't need to micro dash, I need to do whatever, I can still get my combo. Okay? Level 3, weakest kind of launchers. Let us switch to Nina now. Okay, we're moving faster than I anticipated, which is good. Nina, and let's stick with Ganryu. Here's some things I'd like for you guys to see. So level 1 is basic knockdowns, nothing guaranteed, 0 to 9 frames. Level 2, 10 to 20 frames. We can get guaranteed things. If the stage is right, if the angle is right, we may be able to squeeze out something guaranteed, but it's usually not easy. Level 3, things are guaranteed. You just need to find out what. Your character may not have the move that would hit, but at those frames, things are not getting guaranteed. More examples of level 3 launches. Nina's quarter circle forward 3, between 20 and 30 frames. If I want to crouch cancel, I have very little capacity to do that into anything. I mean, I'm still well within the frames, but it's very hard. Same with her wild standing too. I only get 18 frames before she can tech roll. That's pretty bad for a standard launcher, and they've been buffing it. So I can't really go for max damage routes. Quarter circle forward 1, I don't have the frames for it. Crouch cancelling is very tight. It's very tight, and I can't sidestep into whatever I want. 2 little frames, level 3 launcher. And we also have counter hit up forward 4, same thing. Such little frames for me to do anything. However, because of the hitbox of quarter circle forward 1, it is, even on small characters, it's very possible, but it's much harder. And there are some characters that are full of level 3 launchers, like Asuka and Nina are chock full of level 3 launchers, which makes them weaker compared to characters that have stronger launchers. Now let's move on to the next level, level 4 launchers. Now these are between 30 frames and 50 frames. Now these ones, you can move around a bit before you can start your combo, which is great. Let's say, for example, I sidestepped something and did down forward 2, and now I want to come to this side. I can sidestep for a tiny bit. Okay. Let me use an easy example. Every time I want to try and perform, it looks awkward on YouTube. Let's use quarter circle back 4. Again, I only get 34 frames of advantage, but 24 frames before she tech rolls. Actually, this is not a good launcher. 24 frames is still technically level 3. As high as he is, it's still technically level 3. But it's a bit easier because of the height. Let's use upward to 1. 40 frames. Proper level 4 launcher. I can sidestep and then I can start my combo. If it was generous enough, I could even like jump over and do a back turn combo, but not those frames. That's just one example. I can sidestep, realign myself so that I can take them the way I want, which is always good to have. It's always good to have. There is this launcher. It looks like a level 2 launcher, and it basically is, because it's only 14 frames of advantage, but it's untickable. So it's not like these other launchers where as soon as they hit the ground, combo is over. This kind of launcher where it's untickable, it's that whiffed. I thought they fixed that. But again, the frames are so little. You can't be too lazy about it. It's another level 2 launcher. But there's a lot of variables that come into play, especially if you can tech roll or can't tech roll when it comes to height of the launch. But what I want you guys to keep in mind is that these launches with these frames and the ones that don't lift you off the ground in that state, like this is easily the worst type of launcher in the game. The worst type of launch animation in the game. This tripping animation, it's easily the worst. But we'll explain that later. We were on level 4. Now, we've talked about the higher the level, the more chances of repositioning you have. So with this one, I can sidestep, so I can take Ganryu where I want to take him. But there's another awkward situation, for example, this launcher. It is between 30 and 40, which means it's a level 4 launcher. However, there's not much I can do here. If I have the execution, I can run and, you know, pick up with downfall. But see me. However, there's various ways of repositioning. Some characters reposition themselves. For example, Lars, he has inbuilt mobility, and if your move has inbuilt mobility, you can take advantage of these launches that don't look like launches. For example, against Ganryu, I can do quarter circle forward 3, and then I can continue my combo because it travels to him, and I have the frames to do that. Same with the rage arts. She flies to you, which makes this a level 4 launcher. It's a very awkward launch because they are grounded, but because of the frames, it's a decent launch. It counts as a level 4 launcher because I have the ability to really reposition myself. Okay, and then last on the list is the level 5 launchers. Now these are the skyrockets. These are the how do I say it? The debug 1 for Ganryu. Counter hit, quarter circle forward 1. I know, that's only 47. It's close to a level 5, but not really. Let's use Ganryu for this. See this one? 50 and above. I can backdash, I can sidestep, I can run under. I can do a lot of stuff before my combo. But it's exactly 50, so it's not as generous. It can get even higher, like back for 2 plus 3, number in 78. This means I can do whatever I want before the combo continues. The classic one is to run under, and then I'm still comboing, which is what makes this a level 5 launcher, what is typically known as a class 1 launcher now. There's just a lot of time you get before you can continue the combo. Okay? And for Nina, a more conventional example, see this kind of launch, plus 58, that's also a level 5 launcher, because I can move, with Ganryu by the way, but yeah, I can move, and then I can still get my combo, like there's still plenty of time. Okay? So that's also a level 5 launcher. These types of stuns are some of the best ways of launching in the game. This crumple stun. But we'll talk about that in the next video. We'll talk about the best launches and the worst launches, but for now I wanted to get this types of launcher part over with, so the next video will make sense. Okay? So, I'm done for this video. If anyone has any questions, do let me know. But thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next one. I hope this all made sense. Take care.